This is my top 20 tips and tricks for the new player to SpaceBourne 2. Tip number 1. Although SpaceBourne 2 doesn't crash very often, it does still crash from time to time, so make sure that you create a game save often. Tip number 2. When you start a fresh game save, locate the Miners Guild. You'll definitely be mining in the asteroid for a bit. Shameless plug, you should actually watch my mining video where I break down step by step how to make bajillions of space bucks while doing mining. Early on in SpaceBourne 2, you're going to notice that mining is exceptionally profitable, especially when you get to the point you can mine some Asortac, because that stuff right there, you can make about 16 million an hour, which is basically godly amounts of money to a new player. Tip number 3, whenever you land on a large space station, don't just run all the way through it like a crazy person. Find one of these fast travel portals and then you can just teleport to where you want to go. The majority of your main quest lines will want you to go to the living quarters, and if you want to just go buy and sell a whole bunch of stuff, you can just go directly to the marketplace. Yeah, totally here now. This alien station looks win. And once you get done shopping around, buying and selling all your loots and junks and seeing if you can find any upgrades, well, you don't have to run all the way through the space station again. You just need to locate your nearest fast travel buddy who will conk you over the head, knocking you out, then drag you to the landing pad so you can continue your adventure. Tip number 4, you can change the size of your ship when you're in third person mode by holding down the left control and pressing 8 on the number pad a whole bunch of times. If you think your ship model is a little bit too small, you can actually make it bigger by holding the left control and pushing 2 on the number pad a bunch of times. Personally, I like to go with a smaller ship model because it makes doing the combat in this game so much easier. Tip number 5, when plotting courses in the galaxy, use the system identification numbers to quickly set your course. Tip number 6, when plotting a course down to a planet, press B when you arrive. It will pull up the planetary landing zones that you can visit. Any landing zones that are marked as purple, those are your mission locations. If you change your mind and don't feel like landing on the planet, just press B. Tip number 7, some outposts will not let you hail them, but don't you worry. Just look for the landing pad and land anyways, because they usually have some really good loots inside as well as ship terminals that will sell you some ships. Tip number 8, when you level adventure, put all your points into intelligence, then get the perk called more experience. You want to get this to level 2 as soon as possible, as it gives you more adventure experience for everything else you do in the game. This is a huge priority. Tip number 9, before you start your soldier grind, make sure to buy a sniper rifle. Outposts and the Mercenary Guild are your best options. Tip number 10, whenever you run across any of these component terminals for your ship, always buy the tier 4 armor as well as the tier 4 shield boosters. You can quickly install them via the services panel. Now I know they say that you put them in compartments 1, 2, 3, and you think that maybe that's the numbers that you press in order to use them, but it's not. Once you get them all installed, just stick the extras in your bank. To activate these consumables, you just press 6, 7, and 8. Tip number 11, get used to using your power triangle. If you want to go really fast, just hit the left arrow button twice. That'll put all the power into your engines. If you want to be able to warp to any of your destinations faster, you guessed it, hold power to engines. To quickly reset all 3 back to normal, just hit the down arrow. Alright, so this one is like really bad. For about the first 10 or 11 pilot levels, I never put all my power into my weapons, and I thought I was doing really good, although the fights were like a little harder than they probably should have been. So before you enter any combat, put all power to weapons by hitting the up arrow 2 times, and now my multi-cannons are firing at like a ridiculous rate and also take forever to overheat. And after you get done kicking all the space bad guy butts, you can put all power to shields by hitting the right arrow button 2 times. You're going to be doing this so you can recharge your shields for free while you're looting the space loot. Tip number 12, when doing missions like Bounty Hunter, Freelancer, and Mercenary, make sure that you check if there are any other missions in the same exact solar system that you're currently in. It really is in your best interest to try to see if there are any other missions in that exact same solar system, because it does take time to plot yourself to the Stargate and then go to a different solar system, when if you could find like 3 or 4 missions in the exact same area, it is a lot better overall. Tip number 13, make sure that you buy a ship with the boost option, because you will want to use it to clear atmosphere much faster. This is a huge time saver. Generally, it takes a little bit of time to clear the atmosphere, but with 2 quick boosts, we're already in the load animation. That is totally awesome. Tip number 14 is to head over to System Z1 to make sure that your ship is upgraded to max tier, as well as upgraded to your current pilot's level. Head over to the faction hangar to upgrade your ship, and if you want to buy one just like mine, you can head over to the Outposts. These faction hangars basically look like gigantic space donuts. Once you get inside, you'll want to hit up this upgrade console over here. This is where you can actually add tiers to your ship up to a max of 4, as well as upgrade it to your current pilot's level. It's not cheap, so make sure you're packing a bunch of space money. Once you have your ship to tier 4, you can add 2 unique components. Head over to the components terminal to buy the unique modules. Now keep in mind, you can't have more than 1 of the same type. You can also paint most ships on that center console. Tip number 15. When you're grinding for mission experience, it is much better to grind missions that are at or below your current level, so you can pound them out for faster guild rank. This is extremely important when you are a low level. When grinding your bounty guild rank, it doesn't matter if you do a little piddly bounty or a super godly bounty. They're all basically worth the same amount of experience, so get the lower level ones and pound them out fast. Tip number 16, grind your guild ranks to level 3 for the freelancer, bounty, and mercenary guilds to have access to all the legendary gear. You'll roughly be a level 25 to 26 pilot by the time you max out the freelancer and bounty hunting guild ranks to 3. You'll be about a level 15 to 16 soldier by the time you hit level 3 guild rank for the mercenary guild. Tip number 17, you want to have all your bounty hunting, freelancer, and mercenary ranks to level 3 before you choose your main quest path, which is either democratic, lawful, or chaos. You most definitely want to make sure that you have access to the best legendary gear you can possibly have as you progress from this point on. Tip number 18, when you get done beating up a whole bunch of space bad guys, you want to make sure that you use the combine all option when you're looting these boxes. Now occasionally when you do the combine all option, it's gonna kind of like smoke crack a little bit, and it's gonna show that you have 0 boxes to loot, which isn't all that funny. Just click on this signal source and then there you go. You have a crate that you can now scan and loot everything that you want to loot. Tip number 19, when you're ship shopping, create a save at the station. You can then reload your save after checking the ship terminal if the 3 ship perks are not the ones you want. Do this long enough, eventually you will get the best 3 perks possible. Yep, unfortunately this one isn't it. Yep, this one isn't either. This one isn't too bad, although I want to have a ship that has a boost on it. Oh, think I'm going to settle for this one. It has the defensive slot, the engine burst, which is the one I really wanted, and cargo keeper, which will keep all my loot safe. Although power to all would have probably been far more glorious than cargo keeper. I'm so excited I just bought a super awesome ship. Don't forget to make a game save like I said for tip 1. Tip number 20, and this is literally the bigliest tip in history. Like, never do this or you're probably going to screw over your game save. Whenever there is a landing pad with a cover over the top of it, never park really close to the entrance out of convenience. Park all the way to the very back of the deck. That way, if you switch out to a bigger ship or something happens, it's not going to spawn all the way up here on the roof with its nose sticking into that wall right there. If you created a game save, then hopped out of your ship, and that happens to you, you pretty much are going to have to start all over again. You also want to make sure when you land on a planet's surface that you don't land with your nose sticking into a building or the side of a mountain, or the exact same thing will happen. It'll be horrible. If you thought this video was helpful, make sure to check out this other SpaceBourne 2 video here. You're gonna love it.